Hello everyone, I'm BlueJink. Today we're doing a showcase for HENG here. Now he is a free-to-play 4-star character that we get very early on, and he is an option on teams, that's for sure. I wouldn't say he's that great, but he's useful, that's for sure. Being one of the few primary wind attacking characters makes him useful in that right, at least for now. For now, that's for sure. Alright, let's take a look at his kit, which is pretty simple. Like I said, this is a free-play character you get very early on. He's one of the first 3 characters you get, so he's a very simple character. He is of the wind typing, and his path is the hunt, so he's a big, squishy DPS character. Wind is definitely useful as far as wind attackers go. There aren't too many, as in, like, as far as wind attack, Sampo can deal okay damage in the right setting, but HENG is definitely primary damage dealer, that's for sure. Alright, so let's start with his abilities and with his technique. His technique is Splitting Spearhead, and after HENG uses his technique, his attack increases by 40% at the start of the next battle for 3 turns. His talent is Superiority Over Reach. When HENG is the target of an ally's ability, his next attack's wind resistance pen increases by 20%. This effect can be triggered again after 2 turns. His basic attack is Cloud Lancer Archer North Wind, deals wind damage equal to 70% of HENG's attack to a single enemy. Skill, Cloud Lancer Art Torrent, costs 1, deals wind damage equal to % of HENG's attack to a single enemy. On a crit hit, there is a 100% base chance to reduce the target speed by 12% for 2 turns. Finally, his ultimate deals wind damage equal to 272% of HENG's attack to a single enemy. If the enemy is slowed, the ultimate's damage multiplier increases by 81%. So really simple, he just deals damage. He increases attack, deals damage, he's got some wind resistant pen if he got hit, deals damage. He has a chance to reduce speed, which is something you really want to do to get that ultimate extra damage. You do not want to be using his ultimate if you do not have that extra damage. There's no point. It's a waste of energy. So that means you're going to need to increase his critical hit rate is one of his main stats you want to increase. I'd say that more. So probably in order critical hit rate and then attack and, you know, some speed on characters like these. Speed is never a bad stat to add on like third or so. As you see, I got him at 19.7% crit rate. I don't have him optimized in any way. He is very low on my on my priority list, but we're talking about him today just because we're gonna have some content that is about him not too pretty soon here. So the light cone I have on him is Only Silence Remains, which has if increases the word's attack by 16%, and if there are 2 or fewer enemies on the field, increases the word's crit rate by 12%. This is useful just because, well, it buffs the 2 stats that he needs the most, crit rate and attack. So that's kind of what you want to focus on for his light cones. For his traces, the one that matters, bonus abilities, Hidden Dragon. When current HP percentage is 50% or lower, reduces the chance of being attacked by enemies. Very useful. Faster Than Light. After launching an attack, there's a 50% fixed chance to increase own speed by 20% for 2 turns. That's also why it's not too bad increasing his speed as like a third stat priority, just because the higher your base speed is, the better that 20% extra is going to be. And then finally, High Gale, which is basic attack, does 40% more damage to slowed enemies. That's also useful because you want to be slowing your enemies. You either want to be getting the crit hits, which you can't super depend on, or have people who lower speed for enemies for you, like Silverwolf here. Don't want to stand Silverwolf. For relics, the best relics for him are actually the Eagle Gear that does wind damage increase. I just haven't gotten a chance to grind any of those up. There's so much to do in this game. However, that would be the best for him. Second best is the Musketeer of Wild Wheat, which you will get plenty of before that point. The Musketeer Gear does 2-piece attack increase by 12% and 4-piece, where speed increases by 6% and basic attack damage increases by 10%. Not too bad. The Eagle stuff does wind damage, and I'm pretty sure it even has some crit stuff in it, which is significantly better for him. But this isn't the worst if that's really your only option. For his extra stuff, I have the Inner Salsoda, which I think is probably the best one you want for him. 2-piece increases the wearer's crit rate by 8%, and when the wearer's crit rate reaches 50% or higher, the wearer's ultimate and follow-up attack damage increase by 15%. Useful if you could get to that. I don't think I'd be able to get with that, even with any extra bonuses. But if you can, that's definitely useful. That's definitely something you'd want on him. For his dupe system, one is the higher you fly, the harder you fall. When the target enemy's current HP percentage is greater than or equal to 50%, crit rate increases by 12%. 2, Quell the Venom Octet, Quench the Vice of Flame. Unreal. Reduces talent cooldown by 1 turn. 3, Seen and Unseen is just a level up 1. 4, Roaring Dragon and Soaring Sun. When Dan Heng uses his ultimate to defeat an enemy, he will immediately take action again. Very useful. 5, A Drop of Rain feeds a Torn with a level up 1. And 6, The Troubled Soul Lies in Wait. The slow state triggered by skill reduces the enemy's speed by an extra 8%. Not super crazy. I would say definitely 1 is good. 1 is quite good. 2 isn't too bad. 4 is really good. 6 is whatever. So, get him up to 4. You're not too shabby on him. You don't really need to. You shouldn't be chasing dupes on a 4-star character like this, anyways. But if you were to, 4 is definitely what you want to get to. For teams here that we're going to be trying out today, we have this one. I'm actually going to be switching her out with Silverwolf. I'm not sure why I have her on there. This will be the one where this is the Wank setup for Dan Heng, where we'll go through and we'll just see Dan Heng's ceiling, the max of his abilities. 5 is the second team is more of a balanced team, something more that you'd actually be using him on that could use his strengths, while not, wanking him, seeing how good he could be. And finally, this one is a quote-unquote budget team / free-to-play team, which only uses 4 stars or the Trailblazer along with the showcase unit themselves. So I will see you in some content in just 1 second here. Alright, so here we are. We're going to be in Memory Stage 10 just because this is a really good look at his abilities, because it is, they're weak to his abilities, obviously. One other thing is also, I'm pretty sure this one increases crit rate, and I'm actually going to be taking the first team when I do them now. I'm going to be doing them live. Primarily because I want to make sure that I'm taking my time to show you everything on their kit. Dan Heng's kit is incredibly simple, so that shouldn't be too hard. Now with Silverwolf here, we usually had Pella on the team, but I decided to switch it to Silverwolf because Silverwolf actually has a has a good chance to decrease enemy speed, which Pella does not. Pella is useful for attackers because of the huge defense reduction that they have access to. However, we won't be able to show off the speed thing. We'll just have to get lucky. We get the crit rate boost, but it's not as certain as other things, I guess I should say. Should use hers, and I could use hers as well. So this is just going to be like, we're just going to funnel all our resources towards Dan Heng being the best he can be. So you can see how high his damage is, how high the stuff he can do is. Alright, so let's see here. The speed is down, so we use this. Hopefully we get a crit too. Very nice. And now we can use their ultimate. So this is with the extra damage from the speed boost. From the enemy having speed reduction, I should say. We don't have a speed boost ourselves. Our enemy has a speed reduction. One thing that's useful about the not physical trailblazer, but whatever they're called, the non-physical version, the fire version, is that the taunt does taunt away from those specific targeted attacks, which is beyond useful. However, of course, she also took a lot of damage. We'll also be just funneling all this into Dan Heng here. We want him to be at his bestest best. Yeah, we'll do this. Boom. We got that again. They have their speed reduction still. That's the only time you're really going to be using his ultimate. So you could tell, he isn't doing like an insane amount of damage. You really need to get that that 81% boost. Or whatever boost. Wow, okay. Hopefully he doesn't just die here. Taking a lot of damage, actually. A lot more than I thought. That's for sure, but you know what? It should be fine, hopefully. Damn. Let's get this boost back on Dan Heng. Hopefully no one decides to just target him, otherwise he's very dead. Or trampled as everyone. Cool, Dan Heng's dead. Awesome. He's our only damage, and he's a showcase unit. I'm loading up with this team again. That's something you have to be careful with. These are not supposed to be like, look how good they are on the team. These first teams are really supposed to be like, show you how good they are in every aspect. This isn't supposed to be fair on the unit. You'll see more as we get into more characters that obviously aren't like carry units. Like Dan Heng, characters on the hunt are not carry units. They can do a lot of damage, but they need extra help. Another damage dealer helps them so much. which obviously we don't have here. That's kind of like the point. These first team is supposed to be a little bit more unrealistic circumstances. This isn't supposed to be a like doing the best job we can. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna use this. Sure, she's gonna take damage, but it'll be all right. Okay. Still gonna use that, but I don't need to use that. What am I saying? All right. By the time it comes to his turn, she's gonna do that though. It's fine. Use this quick. Now Don Heng, he isn't very good, right? This should be showing you he's not a crazy unit. He's a free-to-play 4-star unit, right? Like he shouldn't be able to carry you, and he also can't. But he also shouldn't he's not supposed to, right? You shouldn't be expecting him to have insane things. Like one of these guys hits him, he's pretty much down for the count, which is how it should be for a lot more of these like hunt characters, right? They're supposed to do a lot of damage, be really squishy. Oh yeah, I forgot how good he only has 100. I'm pretty sure he only has 100 energy he needs for his ultimate. How do I check that ability? Ultimate. Yeah, 100. That's the lowest I think I've seen. Most of them are over 100. Hers is like 120, 130. Hers is 110. Yeah, and then hers is 120. Yeah. Okay. Which isn't negligible, right? I mean, using the Ting Yun special does literally bring him up by 1. Alright, that other one should be dead. It should die from damage over time. And that's no big deal. Dead anyways. Let's just do this. We need to make sure that's up. Not supposed to attack her. Alright. Yeah, Don Heng just dies. He's gonna take so much damage. Alright. See if we can do this. Her speed's down. Alright, this just killed him, huh? No, I don't think ultimates count. Please don't attack me. Alright, good. Yeah, alright. These ultimates don't count. We can try to break her as fast as we can. Try to get out of here. There we go. Okay. Oh, wow. That did a lot of damage. Okay. Alright, let's continue. Took a lot of damage. Let's use Silver Wolf here. Her starting one. Fine using this. So we could see that Don Heng, it's easy to get that speed reduction if you have Silver Wolf on there. Although, we do get the crit rate up, but when you get that crit rate up there, it's a multiple attack. I'm pretty sure each one has a chance to crit. You have a much higher chance to be able to crit and hit the enemy and get that speed down than you would think, which is definitely good for Don Heng here. But you need him to either get crits or have someone, see, there you go. Get crits or have someone on your team that can reduce the speed. Otherwise, you are kind of screwed. Like you need that. Otherwise, his damage is so much less. I'm gonna try to use his ultimate without having the speed down on someone, just so that we could look at his ultimate damage when he doesn't have the speed. Because it's going to be even, I mean, he's not doing like insane damage right now, but it's going to be even smaller. Alright, let's just do this here. We could build up a little bit. It's still essential for you to be defending like that. Yeah. Ouch. Ouch. Hopefully, well, she did taunt, so she should be fine. Alright, kill this guy. Monk. She's about to get her ultimate, which would be perfect. We'll give that to him here. Remember, he's been having that Ting Yun attack boost as well. So it's like, alright, let's use his thing. Because this, yep, no. Alright, let's look at how this does without the damage boost. And we see how it does with. Yeah, 392. Still a crit, though, which is very nice. So, still not too bad. But that's not too bad with the 81% damage, like, not having that. Although you really want that. You really need that, especially as you get to like upgrade that and through the traces more and more. That just is essential. That's a big part of his ultimate damage comes from that. Although not to say that he's totally weak. However, I do believe it is I would say it is a complete dead. All two of them died. That sucked. Okay. We saw what we wanted to see with this one though. We were able to look at how easy or not easy it is to get his ultimate off. How compare ultimate damages there, and also see that, hey, don't put all your eggs in a basket that is the hunt, especially if it's a free-to-play 4-star character. You don't want to do that. That's the point. That I showed what I wanted to show. Alright, so we'll be right back with a actual balanced team. We'll probably be doing the same stage here. Alright, so we have here the balanced team. This one is a Clara March 7th team. Natasha healer, just make sure everyone keeps alive. And down hang for some extra damage, because, you know, these enemies are weak to wind, so it makes sense. This is the kind of team I would bring in here to do this mission the first time. Yeah, probably this exactly. Maybe I'd bring Ting Yan. Just a little bit worried about some extra damage down hang might take, and he is a showcase unit, so I want to make sure I kept him alive, which is why I brought Natasha. But if I was a little more confident and it wasn't like, hey, this is for down hang, I'd probably bring Ting Yan and be buffing up Clara. Or, I mean, maybe sometimes down hang. He can do good damage, right? All the enemies are weak to wind. Well, all the main ones at least, which is what he wants to be going for anyways. This fight runs so smoothly. This is just fine. This is just, you know, this is how you want to use characters from the hunt anyways. You probably want another character that does damage, or a lot of sustain, or a lot of ways to peel off from the actual, like, from a unit like down hang, these hunt characters. You don't want them to be you don't want them to be doing everything, right? They just add on extra damage on the side. They'll do crazy damage. They'll do the most damage to the main ones, but you need extra with them. That's the point. And this is what this is. This is extra. Clara does excellent damage, does excellent follow-up damage, does excellent, you know, AoE damage. And she's supported perfectly by having someone like down hang, who is able to do consistent DPS to the primary target, making it easier for her to deal damage to the extra ones and even deal damage to the main unit itself. March 7th and Clara is just like a perfect combo. I prefer it immensely towards any combo, honestly, with the Fire Trailblazer. March 7th is really, really good. I feel like just the fact her and Clara combined together is a really, really, really good thing. But this is about down hang. He does great. He does really good consistent damage on the side. Having this tankier setup and a lot more of this, rather than the taunts, more so like the aggro increase with Clara, it does work out a lot better. Really, at the end of the day, it's all luck. But when luck is on your side, it does work a lot better than the semi-consistent taunts from the Fire Trailblazer, which is really good for keeping characters like down hang healthy and not, you know, getting killed on the sideline, not getting hit by one big old blast that just one-shots them. In this fight, we never really get close to down hang being in the real danger zone. We're able to take stuff out pretty quickly because, you know, we have Clara doing damage and down hang doing damage. With these damage dealers, the best thing to do is to try to finish these fights faster so there's no chance of them getting wiped off the map, which is what these guys do. It's perfect. Now, for the budget team that we have here, we brought Pella, Natasha, and, of course, the Trailblazer. These budget teams, right, as I said before, we have whatever showcase unit we're doing, and all the other characters could only be 4 stars / the Trailblazer. So this will be more of a budget / free-to-play-ish team, right? This one, you know, I noticed with these is that, you know, really hard to 3-star with these, but you can beat the stage. It just takes a long time. Really depends on what you kind of have built up here. In this case, right, down hang can't carry on the damage. He's a damage dealer, right? That is his main goal. That's his main ability, but he doesn't cut it. He just does not cut it in the damage department. We have Pella here, who, you know, gives a big defense reduction on the enemies, but, you know, down hang still, he just cannot cut it, right? He cannot deal enough damage to finish this stuff up quicker. To be fair, right, he is the only damage dealing unit. Maybe I could have changed stuff up a little bit for these budget ones. Depending on the showcase units, they can be pretty hard, because it's like, what else am I supposed to put damage, right? I mean, I guess I could have gotten rid of Pella and put on another damage dealing unit. Who's a good free-to-play damage dealing unit? I could have brought, I don't know, I guess, like, well, Serval isn't very good for this team, specific team. You know, this isn't a bad one to, like, throw Sampo on, right? Maybe we do use down hang and Sampo, and then Natasha and Trailblazer here. That's actually not the worst. That's not a bad version of this team, actually. But, you know, it takes a long time is basically what it is. We have no chance with Natasha on the team. We have no chance of dying unless we get super unlucky. But with Natasha and the Fire Trailblazer on the team, there's no chance of dying in this fight. We have a 0% chance to die. It's just that we don't deal enough damage. Even with Pella, with huge defense reduction, even with Dan Heng being a damage dealer, these fights do take a long time. This is on even faster speed, right? And it's almost just as long as the initial one we had, which was 2 different tries. So it's like this fight takes a little bit of time. But Dan Heng is doing good damage. The longer these fights go on, the higher the crit rate gets. So that that benefits him directly, because then you can help try to guarantee all of these slows, which just increases his damage, ultimate damage, which is what you really want to do, is just continue to make him attack, slow, ultimate. As you see here, he takes some really big damage there. I got a little worried because I was like, oh my gosh, you know, this could really be messed up. I did not know, I couldn't tell when I did it if we actually taunted the main guy, and I was really worried. I was like, oh my gosh, we just need to try to break him, otherwise Dan Heng's just gonna die, even though he's full health, which didn't end up. He ended up getting taunted, so it wasn't a big deal. But I was worried. That's why I tried to use the ultimate there after the Pella ultimate too. I was like, maybe it'll still do good damage. It was okay damage for having the defense lowered as much as it was, right? It was all right. I was like, this is okay, I guess. But really, the main thing is that, you know, you still can clear with a budget team. Dan Heng, you know, you got a budget team. He's not bad. If you're a free-to-play character, you haven't pulled like any premium units yet, then it's like, yeah, this isn't so bad. You know, he can be useful. Even when, you know, premium stuff, he can be useful. I've thrown him in some simulated universe stuff, you know, if the enemy's weak to wind, he can definitely be useful added on, right? Not as a carry himself, like just as an extra option. Which is really, for like free-to-play characters, that's the best you could do, really. That's what you should be expecting. This is like, really, for free-to-play characters, that's really good, is for them to be useful on teams. Right, because you're not going to get characters that are carrying. Right? You shouldn't be, at least. If a free-to-play character is carrying, they're busted beyond belief, right? But, you know, if they're useful, if they are wonderful additions to a team, that's exactly what you want to ask for. Which is what we get here with Dan Heng. He's good. He's good enough to be added on, right? Which is great for him. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. See you next time.